Wages within the dance industry. How do you know what you should be charging for your dance services? The following presentation will serve as a guideline for dance educators. It poses many reflective questions that will help you better understand your position within the market. Before we get started, there's one important thing I want to address, and that is that dancing, teaching, and choreographing are three independent skill sets. You can be a phenomenal dancer, but that does not guarantee that you will be an exceptional teacher. And you can be an exceptional teacher, but that does not guarantee that you'll be a phenomenal choreographer. We must take the time to refine the skills in each of these three domains independently. Before we dive into the 10 factors of wage negotiation in the dance industry, let's quickly talk about basic economics within the dance studio. The dance studio is a business. They must make money on the exchange of that service, the delivery of the dance lessons, in order for the dance teacher's job to exist. Sometimes it's uncomfortable for dance teachers to think of their service in this way because it feels like they're selling themselves. The dancing is the product, and the dance teachers are providing that product within the studio. This is really no different than any other exchange of service in any other business. So, that means, as educators, we should always be looking for ways to help our dance studio make money off the provision of our service. How can we better fill our classes? What can we do to promote our classes? If you would like to grow your dance education practice and be given more opportunities, this is a question you should be asking yourself. How can I help the dance studio make money through the provision of my services? There are 10 key components that dance teachers should reflect on as they decide their wage negotiations: experience, education and training, employability, leadership, risk assessment, teaching fundamentals, brand and image, retention rates, professionalism, and delivery of results. Experience. How much job-related experience do you have? This primarily includes how many years of teaching experience do you have, but it also includes years of assistant teaching, shadowing a mentor, independent teaching in different environments, volunteering with youth, technical training in dance styles, and professional experience. Once you have deeply reflected on the experience that you bring to the position, it's important to note that someone with 5 minutes of experience should not be trying to obtain the same wage as someone who's been teaching for 20 years. We grow as an educator through years of refining our practice. Education and training. What teacher qualifications do you have? What certifications do you have? What curriculum organizations are you associated with? What curriculums are you trained in following? What programs have you done to further your skills as an educator? In addition to supporting continuing education programs for dance educators, the IDTS strongly supports mandatory first aid training and regular criminal record checks. Employability. Employability as a dance teacher is simply, how easy are you to hire? Are you willing to teach all ages? Will you teach adults? Will you teach preschool? Teenagers? Are you willing to teach all levels? Advanced, beginners, intermediate level students? And how many styles of dance can you teach? Are you trained to teach jazz, tap, hip-hop, ballet? Do you have an open availability, and are you willing to teach on weekends? How easy is it for the studio to hire you and utilize your skills in multiple areas? Leadership. Are you a great example for your students? Do you show maturity in your leadership style? Are you able to articulate the core values of your studio and use your leadership skills to develop these programs within the vision for that studio? Risk assessment. Is there any reason for your studio to introduce a non-competition clause in your contract? Is there any reason to believe that students will follow you to another studio? Is there any reason to believe that you could be involved in a conflict of interest? Are there any issues around trust or protecting intellectual property? Are there any behaviors that reflect poorly on the dance studio, such as chronic lateness or not showing up to open the studio on time? Teaching fundamentals is the core of your educational practice. Teaching fundamentals embody the practice of pedagogy. It reviews your curriculum choices. Do the things that you teach make logical sense? Are there logical progressions? Does the overall program advance the students in a meaningful way? What is the quality of the program execution? What are your classroom management skills? How does your class flow from one activity to the next? Brand image. Many dance teachers don't realize that they are essentially a brand. You as a dance educator are creating a brand for yourself. There's a variety of successful teachers that have different personality traits that work for them. The key here is to identify who you are as an educator. What is your teaching philosophy? As you develop and refine your philosophy, it will also help you understand your brand. While it's possible to change your personality based on who you're teaching, we all have fundamental personality traits that we naturally gravitate towards. Review these personality traits and understand how they can help your teaching brand. As your teacher brand is established and people know who you are as an educator, your educational practice shall flourish. Always be sure that you're aligning yourself with studios that have the same core values and educational philosophies as you. People resonate towards different teachers because of different traits. For example, there are strict teachers who have a refined attention to all of the details. They expect great effort and demand a lot from their students, but those students will then respect them for that quality. You have teachers with a sense of humor that prioritize their delivery in a fun way, and many students will gravitate towards this. You have teachers who are fun. These are the teachers that focus on making dance about having fun and community. Kindness and oozing love. There are teachers that just ooze kindness and affection, and some students will gravitate towards this quality. Artistic merit. There are teachers that have a deep-rooted need for the exploring of the artistic side of dance, and students will be drawn to that artistic quality within them. You have technicians. These are the teachers that insist on the refinement of technique and expect the dancers to do it over and over again until that technique is refined. You can see very easily here that there's many different types of teachers. We need to understand what our personality is and then develop our teacher brand. Teachers that do not have high retention rates, meaning dancers frequently drop their classes, often haven't developed and refined a solid teacher brand. Perhaps they lack confidence and their teaching doesn't feel natural yet. If the teacher is uncomfortable, students will sense that. Develop your teacher brand, and as you are refined in who you are as an educator, students will gravitate towards you. Retention rates. What is the rate in which students drop from your classes? Do your classes fill on a regular basis? Professionalism. Are you a professional dance educator? Do you chronically show up late for class? Do you often not have the supplies that you need? Do you look like a dance educator? Are you properly dressed? Are you reliable and consistent? What does your Instagram feed look like? Do you look like a professional? Are you drinking on the weekends and posting inappropriate pictures? How professional are your relationships? Do you friend all the dancers that are younger than you? Do you friend the parents? And ultimately, do you make the dance studio owner's life easier? Or do you make their life more difficult? For example, do you call them on a Friday night demanding to speak to them about a student's development? Do you call them on Saturday when they're at a family barbecue needing to speak about a dance parent? Do you need constant praise and attention because you lack confidence? Can the studio owner rely on you? If you make the studio owner's life easier and solve some of their problems, it's guaranteed that you're more of an asset value comparatively to a teacher who adds more strain. And lastly, the delivery of results. The delivery of results as a dance educator doesn't necessarily mean that you're creating winning routines at competition. It's simply, do your dancers know their routine and choreography? Does it look like your dancers are learning? Are they progressing in a safe manner? Are they having fun? And are they excited about your class? Are your dancers progressing without injury? As dance teachers enter the wage negotiation process, it's important that they review these 10 things: experience, education and training, employability, leadership, risk assessment, teaching fundamentals, brand and image, retention rates, professionalism, and the delivery of results. There are several factors that affect wages within the dance industry. Location: are you in the downtown core, or the suburbs, or the small communities? What is the cost of living where you live? What type of establishment are you working at, and what kind of programs do they offer? To better understand wages in your area, be sure to only compare yourself with people that have the same level of experience, education, and training. A dance educator with 10 to 20 years more experience than you has spent the time in the studio doing the work. They have developed their practice, their understanding of child development, they have developed their patience, and they have been learning through trial and error. It's important as dance educators that we take the time to grow our practice and to create goals for ourselves. Collaborate with your studio owner and ask questions about how you can improve on your journey. Once your classes continue to fill, that is the appropriate time to bring up wage negotiations. But remember, the right time to do this is only between contract negotiations. Do not ask your studio owner for a raise in the middle of your contract. At that time, their season budget has been set. Once your contract has expired, it is the appropriate time to have a conversation about wages. We wish you the best of luck in your teaching practice.